Right, that's good to know.
And there's about 25 of us up there working.
Wow.
Hey, Mia's the only one on so far. Let me
So-
just bring her in.
Camp directors coming to do an
Testing,
overview of their
testing.
program.
Not working. All right.
Well,
Yeah, I think-
Lauren's coming
Well, I
in.
did it both. Just
And Bonnie, and I'm so happy.
Hi, Mia.
did. I asked him. Tim said, "What do you?" Well, there are people here, so I'll look.
Hi, Mia. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Congratulations.
Ah, thank
Just
you.
bought a house.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And we have Dan supposed to come too, right?
Dan is not coming tonight because
Okay.
he's coaching Little League, so I'm giving his overview of kayaking camp.
Okay, so we got I haven't seen Mary Jo.
And I thought Lauren might be coming.
Lauren's here.
Lauren's there.
Oh, Lauren. Hi, Lauren. Oh, hi, Lauren.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good to see you all.
Good seeing you too. I can start with like the.
Well, let me.
Yeah, start. I've got the camp numbers.
Okay, we're gonna start up, North Hero Parks and Recreation monthly meeting for June 3rd, 2025, and it's 6:32. Let the members introduce ourselves for the recording. Jean Metherall, Chair.
Evan Meaden, member.
Michael Foster, member.
Bernice Patel.
Bonnie Cody, member?
Tim O'Reilly, member.
And nobody online, so, okay. Any adjustments to the agenda? Okay, hearing none. And we have to approve both the meeting minutes for the 6th and the 17th, the special meeting on the 17th.
Also
So,
move.
Hmm?
Also move.
the second,
Second.
any comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, those are approved. And visitors, Mia, why don't you just state your name?
Hi, I'm Mia Brennan.
And Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren Gianpietro.
And I don't think there's, let me just check this. Yep, she's not. It's looking for Mary Jo. Any public comment? Okay, moving on to camps. Bernie?
I could just update the numbers. We have 12 in art camp. That's the limit for art camp. Kayak camp, there are 8. So that means we've got 4 more slots there. Pickleball camp, there are 11, and so one more place for pickleball camp. We have 30 kids registered for swim lessons. And that's sort of a little over it, right? Right, Lauren? 30 kids? Is that our limit?
That's right at the max,
Right
or
at
what
the
we're
max.
capping it as.
Right, exactly. And then pre-K, we have 15, and that's over the limit, but Colleen tells me that's okay. Nature camp, we have 14.
Is that one left or something?
Let me just check on that.
Hi, Mary Jo.
That's right at the limit, 14.
Mary Jo. Is
Mary
that pretty
Jo.
typical to be close to the max on every single camp?
Yeah,
That's great.
kayak camp, I was sort of surprised at that, but you know, there's still time to register for that.
Okay, you want to kick off reviews?
Yeah, for kayak camp, Dan Foster is not here tonight because he is coaching Little League and I think he's got a game. So his program is based a lot on the program that John and I used to run. So he and I have been chatting about that. So his focus will be on planning a kayak trip, the steps that you need to go through to plan a kayak trip. Always make sure that you tell someone where you go, which direction you're going in, that sort of thing. Another thing that he's gonna be working on is the proper fitting of a PFD. So that when you're in the water, it doesn't come up over your head, it's nice and snug. He's gonna be focusing on kids will be learning about the different kinds of kayaking, like touring, recreational, competitive, and fishing kayaking. So I'm trying to talk him into maybe like a fishing kayak camp, or maybe one day of fishing where kids have, we invest in some of those short kid poles. So that would be fun. Names and parts of a kayak and the paddle. Transporting of kayaks, entering and exiting a kayak from shore or in the water if you're overboard and have to get back in. Hold the paddle, making a box. So kids typically are always like this, so it's always like, okay, this is a box. And strokes, forward, backward, stopping, sweep stroke, J stroke, that sort of thing. And then focusing on the lake in terms of the ecological, environmental exploration of the ecosystem. And then lots of fun games. So I talked him into also, I'm gonna order little tiny ducks. So Lauren, you know how much kids love those ducks, right? So if
Yeah.
you like taking care of a duck on board your kayak, you wanna make sure that it doesn't fall in. So anyway, I think everything will work out. So he and I were chatting together yesterday and looking at kayaks and that sort of thing.
Nice.
John is putting 2 new tires and wheels on the kayak, on the town kayak trailer. And my next step is going to be to go talk to the Night Point Ranger and let him know that we'll be there. Where's the best place to park? You know, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
To park our kids. So when John and I did it, we did it, you know, where that hardtop path goes down past the toilets, right at the curve, we parked there.
Mhm.
And I told Dan it's really important for his kids to stay away from the public beach area, to keep at the beach. So that's all set. Okay.
Sounds good. And Mia, why don't you go next?
Okay, so for art camp this year, we're focusing on making 3D things again, but we're going to try to make things that are wearable or sort of costume based. Since last year the kids really liked making things they could wear or use. A couple of our projects are making wings or something that they could fly with, or a hat or headpiece. And everything kind of culminates in the camp show where they'll display the things that they made or wear them. And we use a lot of materials like things to hold things together, like duct tape, glue, building materials, and fabric paint. And we also use a lot of things that can be collected, like cardboard boxes and containers and things to make what they create.
Do you know about how much you need for funds?
Yes, right now the budget is around $250 for materials.
Okay, so that sounds good.
And she sent me all the lists and things like that. I can
Okay.
Forward it to you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mia. And Marissa's really happy to be back working with you, by the way. Thank goodness Marissa's coming back.
We're all happy.
Yeah, exactly. It was-
Bonnie, you want to do pickleball?
Sure, we're gonna do the same thing we did last year. We do mix a bunch of games with learning activities. At the end of the week on Friday, they get their own paddle and we have certificates. Just fun. All fun, nothing but fun.
Do you need any funds?
I don't think so, because we are graciously supported by the Pickleball Association.
That's-
Right? Is that true? I mean, no one's
Great.
ever, they're happy to provide the paddles and
We
balls.
did it last year.
I might raise my rates though a little.
Oh, yeah. You could double.
We funded them last year.
Yeah, you're doing, it's, you know, we're good, and they're happy to do it.
Mhm.
They really look at this whole camp as an outreach and an opportunity to give back to the community, so
That's great.
everyone's happy. It's all good.
Excellent. Excellent. And Lawrence, what?
So for the swim camp, it will be similar to what we did last year in the past few years. Lots of work on safety in the water and also having fun and getting comfortable in the water, especially for the little ones. For the first two groups, it'll just be a lot of playing and getting used to the water and blowing bubbles and getting our face wet and starting to do some floating. And then as we get to the older kids, we'll start to work more on our strokes and our form, lots of kicking and front crawl, back crawl, elementary backstroke, all the strokes. And I'm hoping to do more of the um, certificates at the end of camp too, with the ducks and the awards and all that fun stuff.
That sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
So, we have swim lessons that, just to keep you up to date on this, they happen at Albert Dune State Park.
Oh, okay.
Nice sandy beach, and it's really shallow and sort of perfect for swim lessons all the way out.
And Lauren, do you need any funds or? Your-
Maybe less than $50 probably for like
Okay.
rings that get lost in the water or probably for the ducks, and I think that's it. We still have the
Okay.
noodles and the kickboards, right?
Yeah, do.
Yep. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Thank you, Lauren.
Anything you want to add, Vern?
No, I think we have a great swim program. It's, it's.
I think the
pretty
whole
much it.
program's great.
It's great. We love Lauren, that she comes all the way back here from Stratford, Vermont. to
Happy to
stay.
return.
Yeah, that's great. And that Marissa helps her out. Thank goodness for Marissa. She can come back.
I
It's a
know,
little-
right?
It was a little scary for a bit there when she was
Yeah.
looking for a job. Yeah.
Have you scheduled the beach sitters?
The beach sitters,
Yeah.
meaning Jean and I.
Yeah.
I don't know if we picked a week or not,
No,
but
you know,
run-
we usually do it. Jean usually takes
okay.
1 week and I take the other week.
yeah,
Basically, we're contacting parents as that they arrive and sort of overviewing because the beach, because Lauren and Marissa are in the water all the entire time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's super helpful to have someone.
Parents are having a great time chatting with each
Yes,
other. and
yes,
it's-
yes.
It is really fun. Yeah. So, yeah.
anything to add about camps?
I don't think so. I think it's all good.
Well, thanks Lauren and Mia for joining us. You're welcome to stay, but we're gonna continue on with our regular meeting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Okay, thank you,
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, I've been tracking down parents to make payments. That's what I've been doing the past 2 weeks. Yes, but, okay.
Do we need any other supplies or anything for Ingles, like first aid or anything like that? Soap, paper towels? Okay,
First aid kit, but I intend to do that.
I checked that the last year and it was pretty good.
Right, exactly. I think we're set for
Okay.
toilet paper. We might need paper towels, but
Okay.
I'll double check. and-
Okay,
I talked with Colleen last year because we had a little plastic mud kitchen that we used for preschool camp. And then it was, I guess it was only on loan because it was taken back. So there is no thing for that, you know, it has holes or whatever.
You can hook it up to water.
You can hook it up. This one you could, just the
Okay.
hose, you know, it wasn't anything fancy. And I think Bernie, I talked to you about it last year, about replacing it and told Colleen. And when I ran into her last week and she hadn't done that last year and I asked her if she was still interested in
Was she?
purchasing and yes, but I'm not sure. I don't know how much they are.
I'll contact
And
her.
yeah,
Maybe she'd give me an estimate or
right.
a cost.
Cause
on
she
it.
has $300. I don't know. I just thought, I thought she'd be here tonight, but no.
oh, she'll be here
Next
next
time.
next time.
Oh,
Cause
okay.
she's not going till August and so we're gonna bring her
Okay,
in.
that's good. But
Um,
maybe just.
do we wanna do something? We've got money. Do we
Yeah.
wanna do something about it now? Because we'd have to make a pre-approval today in order to fly in this.
Any estimate on the cost? It's one of those Fisher Price.
It's-
I don't even know if they make them.
Well, they must make something like it. I don't know. I don't know. She was gonna look into it.
$100.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And then supplies, so
Yeah.
200, so.
Yeah.
Want to do a pre-approval for camp supplies at Ingles? up to $200.
That a
I
motion?
would say.
No, I'm not making motion,
I-
I'm
I-
just
I
throwing
would
it
make a-
there.
Well, I'm looking on Amazon for lack of better.
Yeah, you said it was a water kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, I see,
Okay, like an
Mud
actual
kitchen.
Play
kitchen,
kitchen.
okay, not one of those water tables that.
no, the play kitchen,
You know,
Yeah,
I
like
saw
$150.
$127, I'm not sure.
That's pretty fancy. This should be out, all plastic and be able to be
Yeah.
outside. It's Fisher Price used to make them.
Yeah, I was
But if-
thinking for
if
like
you
$150.
200, then you could
Yeah,
maybe.
a couple $100 and,
First aid kit.
yeah.
The first aid kit and the towel, paper towels and stuff, so if we get, let's say up to 250.
And money for the floaties or whatever we need for the swimming.
So they'll probably not get purchased in time.
What?
That stuff is budgeted for next year.
Yeah, it is budgeted for next year. If they get a receipt in, we could do an approval right now and then I could pass it through. Why don't we do this and then we just approve the camp supply stuff? So this is for Ingalls Supplies. For events there, up to $250. I need a motion?
But camp supplies or just supplies at Ingles?
They're gonna be for camps and events, supplies, so paper towels and this water kitchen thing.
Yeah, okay, I make a motion, we approve up to $250 for Camp Angle supplies, which may include the camp kitchen and,
Soap, paper
Soap,
towels,
paper
first
towels.
aid kits,
Gun-
cups,
gun-
whatever we need,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll second.
Any comments?
Yeah, I was wondering if that's.
let's just say 400 just to cover it.
Yeah, exactly. That's-
So, okay, so, yeah.
It's not, it's not just the kitchen, it's like first aid stuff and.
Yeah,
anything else.
okay, so amended.
All
Up
right,
to
so
400.
up to $400 and.
No second.
So seconded. Any more comments? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. All right, let's talk about the supplies. So what we had talked about last time was for art camp, pre-nature and nature, up to $300 a piece.
Mhm.
Hasn't
And
that
then
been approved
for,
That's what I was wondering when they
Didn't we
were.
approve that already? No?
I don't know if we did because it's what really usually gets paid out of next year's budget.
Or maybe.
Yeah, it's all, this is all next year's budget items.
Maybe we just suggested a number and didn't really.
Oh, you and I had talked about it, it may have been here, but we were
Maybe.
just what to tell
Okay,
them.
get it.
We were just talking about what to tell them.
Yeah.
Okay, so for art, pre-nature and nature, up to 300 for each camp. And then for swim, kayak, up to 100 per camp. 3, 6, 10, $1,100.
Also,
Okay,
Okay.
okay, any comments? All in favor, up to $1,100 on camp, the actual camp supplies? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. So if you get any receipts, just
Mhm.
keep sending them in.
Yeah.
All right, anything else for camps? Let's move on to P-lots. So you got the stuff.
Yes, it's the reason I didn't send it is because,
Oh, no, I mean, we've got all the supplies that we need to actually install.
the deer exclusion fence?
Yeah. Okay, so I sent an email to Scott, he's away right now, and he and Terry are trying to set a date. We're trying to get trail steward help to do that, and so we're gonna really need some committed people to say they're gonna show up.
Mhm.
I think he got enough for 2 areas, he was gonna get enough for 2
There's
areas.
a lot of stuff.
Cause one area I know was like 45 by 45 by 20. It was a triangle kind of area. And the second area, I don't know how much he made, but it was,
Yeah, we have a lot of posts. It's just the iron T-posts.
okay.
PV, 10-foot PVC pipes that go over it. And then he's got, he has at home, he has the fencing.
Fencing.
And I think the only thing he has to pick up, that he didn't get yet with the zip ties,
Okay,
that's, well,
that's easy.
$15-20.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for him to respond so we can set a date. And Terry will send out a blurb to everybody on the date and
Mhm.
time, and we'll get that organized, hopefully within the next month or so, to put that in while it's still soft in there.
Mhm.
One of the areas was pretty full of garlic mustard. I pulled about half of it out. I'll go back and try and get the rest of it out. The other, and he's got it marked with paint. The other area was pretty clear of it. It looked pretty good for it. Both of them have a fairly good open canopy above, so.
It's all good.
No having to cut down trees, basically.
We think we could, he and I were looking at that. We think we can do it without if it,
Yeah.
there's a couple small ones in the middle of the second
Mhm.
area, but they might be good to just leave in. They're probably about 10 feet high or something like
Okay.
that, so they might be good to
Not
leave in.
shaded.
No, not really. There's quite a bit of sun in the middle
Yeah.
of the day that's
Good.
getting through there, so. Worth a shot. If we find that, they're not getting enough sun, then we can always come back to
Yeah.
that question of taking a tree down.
Right, we can monitor that. And then
Yeah.
I understand that we have a really tall guy who's volunteered.
Yep, yeah.
I think Scott got 8-foot T-posts, so,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that's beyond my reach.
Yeah, just do, yeah. Even with the tall stuff.
It is a fairly flat area, but it
Yeah.
isn't perfectly.
So the PVC slides over the post?
The posts basically are driven in and are the base for the PVC.
PVC, and then zip tied to the PVC.
Yeah,
And then he wanted to put it around a couple of the trees, like we picked out
Yeah, I
3
think-
trees as anchors on the one area and kind of wrap it around.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of a stretchy material or the plastic material, so you can create a door out of it. So that if,
We
I
can
don't
get
know
in and
if-
out.
yeah, we can get in and out, probably gonna have to weed again.
Right.
And then also if Chad taps in there,
Mhm.
if it's a big enough space and there's 1 or 2 trees, he can get in.
yes. Scott saw this method. And it seems to work well. So,
I think your forester,
yeah,
talked with him about it. It's my understanding.
So I'm just waiting for him to respond and Terry's on the email and they'll figure out when.
they're both away right now.
She just got back.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think she
okay.
got back on Sunday or Monday, Saturday, no, Saturday. She was in Colorado or Utah or something.
Utah, yeah.
All right, anything else on that? We'll go over the finance.
Mhm.
The railroad bed, I did finally get a bill from him, so he didn't finish the rest of it, and I don't think we have time to get him to do it, so maybe we need to put that on for next year.
Okay.
Cause it's a pretty,
Mhm.
couple big ruts in there that are probably got about
This
this
is
much
beyond
water.
the intersection.
Beyond the intersection. It's beautiful what he
It
did,
is, right?
isn't
What a
it?
difference.
You've seen just beyond it too, there's
Yeah.
those
there
2
are a
big
couple of
pits
that,
there,
I
so
went in and mowed the back path.
I saw that, thank you.
I did notice those ruts there further on.
Yeah, so I think we need to
We
do
can have
something.
Extend it next year.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
much,
I don't, and it may only be a certain small section that needs to, not like the whole
Right,
length of that.
There's a
just-
wet area. on
just
the
beyond
road
the,
That it's always muddy there, so.
Yeah, and he had smoothed it flat when he worked on it, and now because of the rain, it's a big rut again. So,
but it looks great.
isn't it?
yeah.
You
was
did
well
nice-
worth it.
Yeah,
it was.
nice job. All right, so we'll put that on the list for next year to complete or later this summer or something like that for that. I do have the "You Are Here" signs for both Pilots and Ingalls, the permanent ones. I just haven't had a chance to get out there and install them.
what I got.
Oh,
Yeah. I will never unknow that.
I just need to get out there and switch them out. I just haven't had time yet. Yeah, I wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
because we have to actually drill holes into the signs themselves
Yep.
because I didn't have them pre-drilled because they're hung differently at different
Mhm.
spots. So,
Yeah, just let me know if you need help.
okay. The poison parsnip, she was planning on a work day. She was talking about late June, but she hasn't set a date yet for Pilots.
Okay.
So. Oh, this is Terry. Anything else with Pilots? Right, Ingles, the kitchen.
Material, I ordered, $800 worth of shiplap pine to finish up the walls. And other miscellaneous stuff there. That'll happen late summer, early fall.
And the roof?
The cabin roof replacement, the metal is there. The accessories are there, it's black. I made a decision to, it's black metal. So I didn't, we didn't want it shiny. So the metal is all there. The accessories are there, the ridge cap, drip edge, screws, the underlayment. And, Tracy has said he's gonna do it.
Okay,
He would like to do it. He has not sent me a price on it.
okay.
But the material's all there and ready to go. And,
So do we want to work around camps when he does that? Cause
I think what you could do is send him the camps and the dates and all. that stuff.
yeah,
would he do it on the weekend?
he's probably doing the
We
weekend.
just have one weekend event there, other than maybe two.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'll be in touch with him about scheduling that.
okay,
You know, I let him know that the material is there, so. The ADA railing for the ramp, Evan had that one railing, but I think what we need to do there is if we're gonna do it, do a nice metal railing. I have not ordered that. yet.
okay.
Something that's gonna be permanent and
Do we want to try and buy that before the end of the month?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay. Okay,
I tried and,
you've got a lot, I know. I know.
the toolbox,
So,
adding shelves is, well, so we have the material for that now with the shiplap. We can use the shiplap for that.
so I was more thinking of, should we move the tools out of the cabin before we get all the kids there? And get
The
them all
cabin
in the
isn't used.
toolbox? They're not using the bathrooms?
No,
No,
No? Okay,
and their materials in there, it's not a.
yeah, that's why I put all the material.
now you stepped away for a little while there. We're kind of talking about replacing both the door locks on both ends of the longhouse and then also buying 4 new padlocks.
Mhm.
You had somebody coming in, we don't know who has all the keys, and I don't think they're keyed, the front and back are keyed the same, at least my key's not
Oh,
working the same way.
No, I don't think they're, I can, let me look at that and I can,
Michael talked about maybe a keypad. Installing a keypad instead of an actual lock.
we can.
I love a keypad.
And then also the padlocks that are keyed, all the 4 padlocks, the one at Pilots is pretty rusty, so it's difficult to get in and out.
Those are old. Those, we inherited those. We joined.
So maybe we should replace those.
Yeah, and I get a set of 6 or 8 key to like master lock.
Can we check into?
Yeah. And I will check into a keypad. For the main door.
And then we'll need to get keys made too,
Yeah.
for the padlocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do we want to do this before the end of the year? Do you have time to do?
No,
it?
no.
You don't, okay, that's fine.
John, the door in the kitchen, there was conversation earlier about it. Is that a separate keys?
Right now, it's a separate key and I think it's hanging inside the door.
So nobody has a key
No,
to enter that from the outside.
no. No, we never had keys made for that. But, you could put a keypad on that too,
I think that would make sense,
yeah,
because that would mean if you ever need to change, you just change the code.
yeah.
Would anyone else want to look into it?
Getting the keypad?
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later?
Yeah,
How are they installed, by the way? Is it next to the door?
No, it's right.
No, it's
It's
part of,
part of
it's
the door
a new
handle.
lock set,
Basically part of the latch.
yeah.
So
Sure.
It's
Okay.
part of the lock set, so it's basically a big, different lock set.
Do you need to get a special kind of door?
No,
right.
Okay.
I can look at that. How much money you wanna spend?
we've got money.
Oh, you got money,
We got
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
And you got-
if you have time to look at that, I can help you install
okay.
It doesn't have to be installed
it.
right
Yeah,
before the end of the month.
I'm
Oh,
just
before the
tied,
end of
I'm
the
tied
month.
up.
I know, I know,
like
I know.
Yeah.
Different,
So we're looking at two
two
keypad,
keypads. and
lock
we
and
could-
handle, one unit.
It's a unit, yeah,
Without having to replace the doors? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
you know,
It takes the same borehole.
That's-
takes the same borehole.
Okay. That's good.
You know, what you could think about is padlocks, because we're using coated padlocks now at pickleball. So, you know, they're all coated the same way, all these different sites.
So the
With no
only thing
keys.
is when somebody leaves, they would still have access.
Well, you can change,
Change the
change,
number.
Oh, you-
change the
that's
number,
right.
yeah.
It's,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
just a
that's cool.
roll thing that.
Yeah,
Four
I
digits.
have those too, yeah, and they're, you know, master.
Then you don't worry about
This is a
key.
little,
That's
is
a
a
good idea.
four number key.
All right,
You want me to look for, what did we say, 6 padlocks you?
We have. One, two,
you need at
three.
least 4.
Need at least 4, I would get 6.
They
so-
probably come in a bulk, 6.
Yeah,
All right.
those the master ones.
You're talking- I'm make sure I understood what you were talking about, Tim, you're gonna do, still gonna do the 2 keypads?
Yeah.
Two keypads
This is
and
for
then
the,
You gotta-
instead, so
the
the other
toolboxes.
master
Yeah.
locks that we have a key, they're all keyed alike, but we can get the combo
Would
ones.
$800 cover all
I think so.
I have no idea.
that? I can't remember, I think I paid a couple hundred for the keypad.
Yeah, I think the keypads are a couple $100.
250, 250. So let's say 800, I'll make a motion for 800 to do.
250 for each one.
If
Yeah,
you want a quality one, yeah.
Yeah, if you want a good one, and,
wow. That's why I have.
and they take a battery, so.
And they're out in the weather, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's important to get a good one.
I'll second the motion.
I didn't hear the amount, I'm sorry.
800.
800?
And Evan seconded. Any comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. Okay, and because of time and trying to get people, the fence is not an option within this next month, so we'll keep it on the list for later on. Repairing the fence and the gate. And as I mentioned, the UR.
Range from $60 to $150.
Okay, so we're talking about the fence along the road?
Where the gate is.
Yeah.
And down that end, yeah,
I-
there's not enough time to get it done.
It's not enough time, and I backed off on it because, it's just, there's a lot of, grapevines and stuff that it's
Oh,
all
That's right.
intertwined in the fence. And so in order to remove the fence, those will, they've gotta be cut and, taken off with the fence,
Well, Tracy did take a lot of that off, but. in
not,
terms of
not in that area,
roots.
not in that
The
area.
roots are still there.
And they're still, it's all intertwined in the
growing.
fence. So, you know, that would be something that maybe trail stewards can attack. Later in the summer and just cut the roots out, pull the fence down. And then just have a new
Just
fence put
replace.
in. These fence companies aren't gonna wanna get into doing that stuff, so.
So the original posts stay? Or
The
you're replacing?
original, I think the original posts
Posts
are
are
okay,
okay.
yeah. So it's just a matter of, you know, cutting the chain link
Yeah,
fence
getting the
out.
fence out.
it's really, I stood there and looked at it and I thought, geez.
The posts are metal, right?
The post amount,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd mentioned the You Are Here signs earlier. The cleaning, Bernie mentioned before the meeting that that's all done and power washing has been done on the ramp, which was an issue with the insurance company, so that's all set. Tim and Andy cleared that tree
Oh, that's
down by the vernal pool.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
And then we still have the wood chips hanging out there too, but there's no dates or anything set for that. Probably be later in the year anyway.
Mhm.
Anything else with Ingalls?
Just a question just about, Tracy and the labor costs associated with the roof. Is there any way we can prepay that?
Usually not with the town. They want to make sure you check that the job has been done.
Yeah, that's why we get order material, but we have to have it, you know. We've tried.
Unless he can do it in the next couple weeks. All right, the footpaths. The beach signs, where did we stand on that? I just lost track of that.
They're on our front porch.
Oh, okay. To be done.
Yeah,
To be done,
we need a really strong
post.
post. What happened was that the sign was sort of to the northwest. And it was, the wind was like blasting, and I think that's.
Well, and the
just-
posts were just
there we
the
go.
metal, those light metal posts.
Is the idea to just use a heavier T-post or to sink something like a 4x4?
Either one, I have one street sign post, that's a heavy post,
I see.
except it's too big to use the regular pounder.
So
Yeah,
maybe we
so,
need someone tall.
well, no, it's the pounder
Too big
doesn't
around.
doesn't fit over.
You need to dig a deep hole.
Need to dig the hole,
Which is hard there because it's all.
All right.
Yeah,
rail bed.
yeah.
Rail.
So,
Did Tracy have something in his garage?
To drive it.
Index-
well, that's where I got the.
That's where you get the poster, okay.
You might go.
I can go look, see what he has for posts, maybe he has one that's not quite as heavy duty, this was the heavy duty.
Like the square
octagonal.
one.
It's not square, it's, you know, it's half of a hexagon,
Oh, okay.
it's that, you know, but it's pretty heavy duty,
Yeah,
and it has holes in it, so that's.
How do we install all the posts that we install around the various things?
You mean the wooden ones?
Yes. all
This
of them.
island is horrible
What,
for
the
posts.
6x6?
Yeah.
I had island excavating, come in and dig a
Yeah.
hole and
Like with
concreted
the
them in.
auger,
Uh,
power auger, right?
no, they actually dug those,
No.
they used the power auger when we did the, story walk once. But that was also, I don't actually, you know,
Where I'm going with this, is I'm just wondering, it seems like we have so many signs of
It
various
does.
places. Does it make sense to buy a piece of equipment?
To do that?
Just to have, that we could, whoever's gonna actually do it, or something, but that would require maybe something, most of the signs, the post being somewhat uniform.
Yeah.
right.
Um,
And that's, I have a post hole pounder, and so does Scott. But they don't, you know, they fit over most of the T-posts. and
I was thinking something more motorized and,
Well, yeah, they have the ones that,
Did we
but then you
rent
gotta
it?
get an extension cord.
You can rent those, yeah. You can
we,
rent-
we rented a power auger for Albert, and put up a fence yesterday. And it's just wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
it's power driven, it's got hydraulic, auger.
It's a walk behind.
Walk
one.
behind, I mean, it just drills it right
Wow.
through.
Maybe that,
It was 115 for the day.
see,
Hmm,
Yeah,
that's doable,
mhm.
Yeah,
right? And you had to pick it up.
we picked it up, our trailer, and
Trailer, could a pickup truck? carry it?
no, you
no,
really,
you
it's
gotta
kind
drive
of
it
lengthy.
on the trailer.
Tracks, the one on tracks.
Well, this one has power driven wheels, but it's it's a long rig, you know, it's like almost 6 or 8 feet long.
So you don't have to drag it.
No, it just, yeah,
I mean, they do make them where you can hold on to them, but like if.
Oh, yeah, those-
they'll beat the
Yeah,
heck
those-
out of
Yeah,
you.
you're gonna dislocate a shoulder.
Those are
or something.
spin fillers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drilled 35 holes,
Really?
that thing worked
I
like,
mean, the
it's
type
gone.
of, like the.
And it'll go
Up and
anywhere,
down, but
it'll
the problem
just,
is if you hit it.
Oh.
but it's more than we
Yeah,
need for,
Yeah.
you know, you wouldn't get it for one
It can
full
be
star.
tough.
No.
It's a lot. That stuff.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they make a bigger pounder, you know, a bigger.
I
circumference.
can look and see, but they also have, you know, pounders that have, like a hammer drill hooked up.
Right, yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I was watching some guy do it in the video, is that the square, like, you know, the square street sign posts that have holes on all sides, so you can put a bolt in every
yeah.
direction. It looks like a normal post holder, but it just, yeah, it's like a jack, you just slide it over and it just does all the pounding for
Yeah.
you.
Hmm.
I'm looking to buy one.
That's more
That's what
renting
Michael
more.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
You can store it in the. Somewhere.
Town garage.
I'll check on that.
All right. Well, if we want to spend it now, we have to make a decision.
Well, how much did it cost to rent that?
115,
Okay. I
For the
think that's
day.
pretty reasonable, right?
Well, that's for one time use.
yeah, for one hole, I don't know. I'd get a pickaxe and a shovel and see what I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but one hole,
It's not like you're digging a fenced hole in a field out there on the footpath.
Yeah.
It's riverbed.
even you, when you hit rocks, I mean, you gotta dig
And
them
you
out.
do everywhere in this island.
Yeah.
Okay.
You check in?
Yeah, I seen this, you know, $382 from Home Depot. It's gas powered, I didn't realize they were gas powered.
To buy one?
Yeah.
Share it, rent it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't want there.
Why don't we come back to that if there's,
Yeah.
if we had time to look a little bit more.
All right. So we ended up buying 2 picnic tables for, the footpath down by the beach. We couldn't get a third one because of the cost of the shipping. At the time, didn't have an approvals for it, and we would have gone over the, select board's limits. John's putting them together. Do you need help? With anything? Moving them
You're gonna
in,
need
you
help.
know?
All
I'll
they're
need,
heavy.
I'll need help loading them and taking them over there.
Where are they made out of?
They're the plastic ones, just like the ones that are in front of Angus.
Metal.
But they're the lighter duty ones. We have some that are heavy. And the last ones we got were lighter duty and I guess everybody liked them a lot better.
Okay.
Where are they going? I'm sorry, I lost.
They're going to the beach
At
on
Peacock.
footpath.
At,
Both to the beach.
No, it's
Footpath.
okay,
Down by the beach.
got it.
Oh, gas powered post drivers. $350 to $600.
What do you think? Would we get some use out of it? Enough for,
Could be used in multiple places in terms of.
I would look for an electric one. If it's a gas one, it's never gonna work when you want it. So, and once it's a year or so
so
old.
it's a battery powered, because we'd have to pull it out to,
Yeah. So I would, I'm sure they have them. But
what's
How
it
much
gonna
money
think?
do we have that can't be rolled over?
Well, I don't have all the final numbers, but it was probably up close to 3,000 or 4,000.
these numbers are all less than we had been.
Okay, then it's at least 4,300 minus what we've already spent just today.
And we need to spend it by the end of this month.
Yes.
So. Doesn't seem to make much sense not to spend it, even if we're spending it on, I mean, if we just say up to X amount, because otherwise we're gonna lose that money.
Right,
If we're not meeting again.
right.
We just, pre-approved 1,600 is what I added up, so.
Did we approve?
No,
For the, all the other things. Four,
John,
Yeah.
seven.
did you hear Michael?
I'm looking,
I saw some
But-
electric ones that were like $3,000, which,
yeah,
you know, but it's, my guess is it's a whole range.
Yeah.
Probably of what you can,
How about 1,000, just?
just say $1,000 and let me see what I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
find.
I'll make a motion to approve $1,000 to spend on some sort of post hole digger to be used at the various locations administered by the Parks and Rec Committee.
Yeah, and ideally it would be,
mechanized one.
electric,
Yeah,
battery. So you can kind of take it anywhere.
yeah.
okay, a second.
I second.
Any comments? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, and you'll shout out when you need help,
Yes.
picnic tables. Anything else with the footpath? Okay, I sent around, last month, we talked about having a rules sign, a single rules sign where all the rules are gathered in one spot for each of the parks, and then we would make copies of them and put it at a couple sites. Because right now, there's a sign here and a sign there and a sign there, and you can't like get your head wrapped around all the rules for a particular site. What I
Can
sent,
we also make them attractive to read?
yes,
I think a lot of visitors to parks or this, right by.
yes. And well, we can make copies of them and put them right at the entrance to the woods or something at Pilots. Have it on the main board, but put a copy at the, and so there's not one rule over here and one rule and one rule. So in order to get the conversation started, this is a really, really rough draft that I just threw together, but I want people to think about it in the next month and come back with feedback on it, and then we can have a final discussion on what
Yes.
we make. So there's one for each of the areas.
There's two items that I noticed, well, one Bernie noticed
I
that,
think I handed it. Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Right.
probably wordsmithing stuff
Yeah,
that need
but,
desperate help.
hunting on the footpath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's within the safety zone of all the houses, so there's no hunting.
so I'm glad you said that, but I see hunters go down there all the time and use the state land.
Well,
Even
that would
this,
be different than hunting. I mean, if they're just traversing the property to get to different land.
Yeah, well, they
that's
park at
different.
that corner and go down
but
their
there are
path.
deer down there.
Yeah,
If they're not hunting on the path, you know what I mean? Like, that's different.
okay,
Taking a gun
that's
and.
fine, that's fine, that's what I didn't
It's the
understand.
same thing at Angles, you can
But they're.
access the
Right.
Butternut Hill, Butternut Ridge area through, although there's no hunting at Angles, in
Okay,
fact, you're supposed to have your
Unloaded,
unloaded.
Yeah.
unloaded.
The only thing that I noticed that is sort of relevant to, I guess, the stuff that we've been talking about the past two meetings, which is money, is the places where biking is not allowed. Are there places for people to lock up their bikes or at least park their bikes upright rather than, laying? them
We have
against-
bike racks.
bike
There
rack.
are that? Okay.
We don't have a bike rack at the footpath.
Footpath, but we don't.
But we
restrict
allow
bikes.
biking, we're not restricting it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bike rack at Angles and there's a bike rack at Pilots.
Cool.
So maybe we can ask everyone to do it, like I said, this is really rough draft, I haven't even checked the wording to see if it all makes sense, I just pulled the stuff off of the signs that we had. If you can take a look at it in the next few weeks and send me your feedback on it, and then I'll compile the feedback and bring it back to the next meeting, and then we can
Mhm.
get towards the finalized.
My
Fine.
concern was it was gonna be too much on a sign.
Yeah, I know, but then I think about it, this is how some of the state parks are set up.
Yeah, and usually when you go to a lot of the preserves and stuff, you go in there and there's one sign,
All the
has all
rules.
the rules on it. Instead of like what we have now is you have one rule over here, one rule over here, one.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, it's,
except for your little red sign that you put there, you can get from the parking lot in without really realizing
Seeing that- and he
that there's
said,
no
"Oh."
leash, law
But-
rules.
Which part, Pilots? or-
Pilots.
Yeah.
Did the beach areas have beach areas already, both beach areas already have their own signs, right? So the idea would not be to incorporate. the beach rules into
We should have the
signs.
beach rules in here. Yeah, beach rules should go in there.
Okay.
Like the swim at your own risk,
Yeah.
Yeah,
no light, no fires.
Do we allow glass or is it aluminum and plastic going?
It's, we haven't gotten that, it's not like
Okay.
it's a place that,
People are,
no.
Having a problem with that, with whether it'll. So if you see stuff, just send it to me in the next couple weeks and I'll send it around. Anything else on this? All right, Ingalls Rental. We have another applicant, Egan, that I sent around her
Egan.
request for August 1st.
She's having an art workshop.
So there'll be roughly 12 people there.
and by the time, and I'm trying to remember when we did the last one, by the time we get this, it's already, I see the insurance is on the agenda, but by the time we get this, all of those boxes have already been checked, right? Some
No,
are-
not
no?
necessarily the insurance, because they have to pay right away.
Hmm.
So unless we approve it, you wouldn't want to have somebody
Right.
paying for their insurance.
Right, I see.
But this goes down to Corinne,
Mhm.
and she should be looking for the insurance
Okay,
on it.
it's still such a vague thing what we're actually reviewing. It seems like someone wants to use it, they're not gonna burn it down, have a great time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I'm just,
But
it is what it is.
okay, but it
But-
seems like
but-
we're not even the ones responsible for that, so. That's just like a
We,
Corinne thing.
we are in the fact that, we are tasked by the select board with maintaining and, administering the parks and buildings.
And we have to make sure that it's not conflicting with anything. If cleaning has to happen after this, how that fits in. So Bernie does a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
Making sure that it all will work with what we have going on at Ingalls.
So you think this is gonna work with what we've got going on?
Oh, definitely. I think this is a great thing.
Well, then I'd move to approve the application.
It's a small group.
I would second that.
Yep, okay.
She knows that she has to pay the fee. She's not like. So
Seems
she's
like a
back.
great day, frankly.
Yeah.
Does.
Okay,
Day.
any further comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carry. Through all,
Date on that, just so I can have it right here.
August 1st.
Sorry, thank you.
Is that a Sunday?
Yes, and just while we're on Ingalls Rental, just a note that we had, at the last meeting, we approved indivisible
Great.
to have the meeting there. Unfortunately, at least through the insurance that we looked at and was available through the town, they will not insure political events.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
so this is,
Okay, so that's like the insurance company.
It's the-
company.
The insurance, yeah, so, and,
Because you
you
guys
know,
look like a bunch of rowdy people, like you're really good.
and they don't care. It's just, you go through in their form and if it's, they.
well, it's through the Vermont
Yeah.
League of
Like,
Cities and
Well, it
Towns.
is, but it's a separate insurance company.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's not itself.
And they have a form and, you just go down, check the boxes and and in like 4 different spots. It's, no political event, and how do you define a political event? Well, I did call them, so. So anytime you have a speaker that's an elected politician or talking, even if it's the meeting, which is what this was, you're talking, it's a political organization. It's a political event, so.
So is that why I saw on Front Porch Forum that there's gonna be the events that?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
But that is contrary to here. We have political
Yeah.
events here and.
Do they
it's a
have
town
insurance?
property.
well, they might be under the
it's-
town's insurance.
No, I think it's the same insurance.
It's the
I think
same
it's the same-
insurance, but so. it's-
Yeah, but they're insuring an individual when they do the Ingalls. They're insuring the town's property
No, same thing. It's the same insurance form.
I know
It's the same-
that, but it's a liability difference though, right?
But
Because-
it's not a different form. It's, if people are renting this and having the event and it's not going through the blanket insurance of the town and they're getting separate insurance, it's the same thing. You know, whether they're just,
I think they're going under the blanket.
well,
here.
maybe.
I think,
That's the difference I
probably-
was
that's
referring to.
probably the difference, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they went under the blanket.
yeah.
You know, and we had this discussion at our meeting was that, said, well, we're not really a political organization. I'm
No, we're
saying,
not really a political
"Uh,
group.
yes, we are.
You can define it any way you.
Well, it's just a meeting. No, it's nothing. So, yeah.
So in all of this, we found a process to get the insurance very quickly on the website, which was very simple to do.
It is
and-
very simple to do. I went through the whole thing,
And so,
except for that glitch.
but it made it a lot easier. Now we can aim somebody. So
Yeah.
Corinne put it on our website, the instructions of how to get there directly now, and they reconfigured it for us, so it will automatically fill the Camp Ingalls part and some certain codes, and it will automatically send the certificate to Corinne,
That's perfect.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's fairly inexpensive.
I think they made some changes this week, and it's now $100 instead of
Oh,
75.
I think it was, I thought it was 65 or 75.
Yeah. No, it's the same as there, but. All right, pickleball.
Pickleball, so the contract's been awarded, which is a big deal.
Wow.
And, construction, partially completed by October and fully completed by November.
Wow.
4 courts, perimeter fencing, fixed posts. There's a $17,000 gap in funding, which it's happy to announce that the state is gonna pick that up.
Wow,
We don't
great.
have to fundraise anymore. Yeah, I know you did. The other news is, so we've been working on the MOU with them. You know, how we're gonna access some time slots and so briefly, the IPA will have it from 7:30 to 1:30. From mid-May to mid-October. And that's what our 100 grand paid for. The other news is they're gonna discount not the Green Mountain Pass, but the, season pass for the year, you'd be able to pay it for $30. They're gonna discount it for 15.
Wow.
So our members that, don't fit the requirements for the Green Mountain Pass, 62 and over and a resident, will be able to get a pass for 15 and access as much as they want. And not just Knights Point, but all state parks, because they can't figure out how to differentiate. Yeah, so that is,
That's cool.
that's great. And now they didn't promise it in perpetuity, but at least for the next couple of years, we'll get 50%.
That's nice.
So we've solved that issue. So yeah, we'll be playing there big time in the spring.
Great.
Now, Portalet's been delivered,
It's been delivered. I saw a bill.
Yes.
Yes.
and we have to approve that bill, which we'll get to, but I will also pre-approve some money too for paying for the rest of the year.
Okay,
And you're gonna go again through September, or?
yes.
is it like
Now, that's always been, because we only used to fund like $600 worth, 4 months, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
We live without it. I mean, if they pick it up mid-September, because we'll play into October, maybe November, and now we're not clear. There won't be any more kids there, right? Is that true?
yeah,
If
Yeah, I
that's
think so.
Even preschool, is that
Sadly, so,
it's
yeah.
gonna be an office space.
all gone? It's just gonna be supervisory union management. So we may be playing every day after Labor Day. We used to stop during the week when the kids went back.
Although I think the Eagle Camp is gonna be there still.
Yeah,
Oh, it
And then
is,
after-
after school.
That's what I heard,
Yeah.
yeah.
and summer,
Oh, in the summer,
In the summer.
and after school.
and during the
Yeah,
school year.
yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, I'll affect us, that they haven't bothered us before the, Eagle Camp. So that's, so, do you wanna pre-approve more than
So-
that?
why don't we take the approval of the current bill, because we hadn't pre-approved that. So there's a bill for $145 for this month, right now through mid-June, I believe it is,
Yeah,
on that for $145.
And what was that for?
That's for the portalet. We pay
Oh.
for the portalet for North Hero at the pickleball court at the North Hero School.
I'll make a motion to pre-approve that for 145.
But you're not pre-approving it, are you?
That's approved.
No, this is an approval of the invoice.
Oh, okay. Oh, you- so you don't need a motion.
You do.
I do.
Yeah.
Because we have not approved that invoice at all, and so in order to pay it, I need approval.
And you're gonna do an invoice at a time.
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do
This,
an approval of this invoice, and then we're gonna do a pre-approval for the rest of the summer.
I make a
right
motion
behind
to
it.
approve the current $145.
Okay, do I have a
to
second?
mid-June.
I'll
Second.
second. Yeah.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. Now, pre-approval for the rest of the summer. So if we do through the end of September, I think it's like $580, $590, is
They're
it
playing
right?
October.
145 a month?
Yeah,
I think we should go through October.
Let's go to the end of October.
did they start mid-May or?
That,
so it's
yeah,
gonna be-
they started, the weekend before Memorial Day. And they only did weekends while the kids are in school. And, at the porta potty, I think that delivered on the 18th or that was a Sunday, but it might have been,
Like a day or two.
yeah, a
before.
day or two after that.
Okay,
I would say if we can afford it, we'd go take it to the end of, October.
okay, so pre-approval for $145 per month from now until the end of October.
Also move.
Second,
Second,
Second.
any comments? All in favor?
I
Any opposed? Okay, that's approved.
thank you.
So with the pickleball courts, do you have to be a member of the Island Pickleball Association to use the courts?
No, the IPA, Island Pickleball Association, controls most of the courts in the islands in the morning. You have to be a member, but you could be a guest of somebody, or you could pay a daily rate and not be a season pass holder. But after those hours, and it's different, and we're in 4 different locations, it's a community park. I mean, there's balls there, there's nets, you drag them out and you play.
A little bit of history of it, when they started, how long ago?
This will be our 9th year.
It started right here,
Oh, in here?
with,
In the-
with this, at the North Hero School,
Oh, okay.
with the rec department.
I see. I thought you were
And
saying that
Tim.
you were playing in here.
No,
like,
no,
big
no.
enough, you can
No,
probably
the
set it
whole,
up.
the whole
Keep it
whole
going through
setup
the
started with Tim and the rec department.
Yeah.
You know.
And we now have 300 members
Wow.
across the island. A membership fee of $15. Season pass is 75. What's the season pass? 60 maybe? I think it's 75 total. We run skill-based sessions. Donaldson has 3 courts. Albert has 3 courts. 3 courts in North Hero and 2 courts over in Isle of Man. And, yeah, it's a pretty active group.
Great.
You should play.
You should
You know,
play. We'll get it.
we do play, my wife and I do play, but it's, it's like when we can fit it in. It's very difficult to
Yes,
commit
yes.
to like a regular schedule for something like that, because we've just got so much going on. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I think we can do it. Let's go right now. So,
But yeah, in most afternoons, any one of those 4 locations, you'll be able to walk on and just drag a net out. They're all on rolling casters now. Just set it up and play.
that's great.
Michael was playing too. I think you were thinking of playing.
I actually played down in the parking lot at work with one of the members, Sarah Hanses. You guys know Sarah? She's played around. She was living in, she lives in Nome.
Oh. Well, we'll get you out on the courts up here.
She actually showed me, I guess, spent some stupid amount of money for some racket that was, what the difference between.
Oh,
It was amazing. Well,
yeah. $250.
All right, anything else with pickleball?
No, that's enough.
Okay, Terry's gonna reschedule her bird walk. It was raining yet again on Saturday, so we've done, everything we've done this year has been in the rain. So I'm not sure when she's gonna schedule. I think she's kind of waiting to find out when Scott wants to do the deer exclusion to work around that. Just a reminder, Mr. K is here on the 24th. He'll be at the library. And then the school field trip.
The 10th with a rain date of the 12th. And it does look like it's going to be raining on the 10th, at least according to my iPhone right now. I don't know what time. John hasn't told me the time yet, but I imagine it's in the morning. They usually get there around 9.
And will she send me the bill, For
I'm
the
sure
bus?
she will. I'll get in touch with her.
Okay.
I'm sure she will.
Did we already approve the bus?
Yep.
Okay.
I will even go.
This is last. Field trip at Agnes.
Well,
Talk about.
we did begin the conversation
About
a month or
next year.
so ago, so that, you know, we can continue. I mean, the kids need to be
Yeah.
up here, and I don't know, we were waiting to see if the PTAs are emerged and how active and accessible they were. And I'm happy to do that when that time comes.
Okay.
I mean, what I was thinking is maybe the whole school could fit in 2 buses and we would pay for one, I don't know. But that would be a lot of kids up there,
A lot of kids.
a lot of kids at once, so maybe, you know, having 2 different dates
Right.
with different.
Younger
age groups.
kids and-
Yeah,
Older kids.
yeah, I think it's important.
Okay. Coming up to the finances. Anything else that we can think of? That we need?
Can you run through what we've got?
So what we just did today, we did $400 for, like the Camp Ingalls supplies, paper,
yeah.
that type of thing. $800 for new lofts, $1,000 for the tool, the post tool. And then up to $1,100 for the camps, but they may not spend that all before the end of the year, so, before the end of the,
Susan.
yeah. So that's $2,300. We probably have,
Or 33.
Did you do the porta potties too? Increase with that?
that 30 was in the budget, I had already, so I had already put it in some of the estimates. Did I miss
You
Kat?
just said-
Yeah, I did, it's 33.
Yeah.
3,300.
Close, right? It's pretty close to them.
Yep, we're at 36. If all of that goes through.
Yeah.
And then, John, you said yours was less than.
Yeah, well, here's the, Scott's, this is their exclusion, this part of it, cause he has other stuff too, so. This was the stuff is $593.56.
Okay, that won't count against our budget because that counts against the grant.
Right, okay.
And is there just gonna be coordination through the trail stewards for a work day to get that done?
Mhm.
Okay,
This is the
Scott gets that.
roofing material, which we had pre-approved 2,000, I believe.
Yep,
And this, it came out to $1,467.
We approve labor. Tracy?
not
no,
yet.
because we don't have a price on labor.
We
Uh,
estimate.
and wasn't there also the issue of just him likely not getting it done this month? So now-
Well, that's why we just wanted to get the material. It'll be in
Yeah,
next.
we don't.
Yeah.
And it's gonna have to fit in between the
Right.
camps.
So there's no point in pre-approving any
No.
labor costs?
No,
Right.
What about cleaning liquid for the bath day?
that's in that $400 we were talking
Uh,
about, supplies. The paper towels,
The
the,
box of it, though, I don't know where that is.
Where did it come from? I didn't order it. Who ordered
That's,
it?
you know, the
That you
fuel
ordered
that
it?
you
Yeah.
just stick in.
Did you order it? No, Joe?
I ordered it, Lisa ordered it for me.
through the supplies thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I can go in and check it. Can't find my key. I'm looking forward to that.
I'll give you my key.
Okay.
Then you gotta remember the code.
It's somewhere underneath my
See
seat.
mine in my car.
I just,
And the
And
kitchen,
then this is for $593.56 for the kitchen. Now, for the pine.
Yep.
That's, and we had improved up to $800 for that.
okay,
It's not a separate invoice because, and this is why I just didn't send you this stuff. So I just got this all from Cindy. They bill on the first of the month, so the only thing that's on this month's billing is the roofing.
okay. The rest,
But the deer exclusion fence and the pine they won't be billed for it until July
July.
1st. But except we have the invoices, so they can
Well,
pay on the invoice.
yep, that's true. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
And
That's
let
what Cindy said. They just pay on the invoice.
okay, so the difference that you just came up with is an additional just $300. To what 36,400, so it's 3,900 roughly. 3,600, yeah, so it's roughly 3,900, and we came up with 3,300. Plus or minus. Okay,
That's not bad, yeah, I'm happy about that.
the only thing is I think the school stuff will probably only spend about half of that by the time end of June. If that, the $1,100. So there might be another 500 in there. But it's less than 1,000 now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
And the deer one, we don't have to worry about whether it's in July or not. That one, because that's grant money, it will go over into
Okay.
next year.
Well,
So it would only be the kitchen stuff, but I'll tell her to pay it this year. We've got it.
yeah,
We can pay it. Anything else on this, on the finances?
Thanks for tracking all that.
I have this has got all kinds of calculations behind it. So I can just do an entry and it actually calculates everything.
And if you get that posthole digger and you want help, I'm happy to help. Same
Oh,
thing
okay.
with the benches too, picking benches. If you know,
Okay.
always happy to help with that kind of stuff.
yeah, I mean, usually when I did the last ones, I just, pulled the boxes. They're on my trailer. I just pull it into the shop and
Mhm.
take them apart and I've got, screw guns and stuff and just,
Yeah.
just go straight together. So.
That guy was nice. He put it right on the trailer. That was really good.
Cool.
He had a lift gate and he was able to, with his little trolley thing, drop it right into the back of the trailer. So there was nobody lifting anything. Remember, we had to break them open the last time
Last
and
time we
carry
had-
pieces into
Exactly.
the
Well,
trailer.
because they dropped them. They were on the ground.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that was good.
it was nice. He was really helpful. Is there anything else that we need to talk?
John, what's a good brand for a door, that I should be looking for? Do you know, Michael?
Sledge, is it sledge?
Sledge.
Sledge. Okay,
Sledge.
I would stay away from the quick set one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
SPHLEGE.
Yeah, Sledge, or I can't remember how it's pronounced, but you got it.
but there is one at the library if you want to just go.
Oh, there
back
is
on
one.
it. That's-
I'll stop on my way
Yeah.
home.
All right, if nothing else, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.
7:45.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.